Good day, good day, good day. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Today we're going to be talking about what wealthy families don't do. Wealthy families don't give their kids money. They simply shift it tax-free and multiply it for generations. If this is a concept that you want to learn more about, you need to stick around to the end. We got some information that I think you're going to want to hear about, especially if you have young ones and you can get ahead of the game just by tapping in. So sit back, relax, and unwind. It's your guy, Ronco Johnson, helping you relax and unwind for about 45 minutes. And we're going to be talking about what wealthy people and what wealthy families don't do and why they don't give their kids money. See you inside. Hey, good day, everybody. It's Ronco Johnson, your lifestyle focused wealth coach. Thank you guys for joining us. I want to just say thank you again for being here and hanging out with us. And we got a wonderful opportunity to talk to you today. We're going to be talking about what most wealthy people don't do with the children. They don't give money to the kids. It's one of the most misunderstood wealth strategies used by high-income families. And we're going to be talking about how paying your children through your corporation and ensuring them young can create lifetimes of tax-free wealth. So by sticking around to the end of the day, you're going to learn how, you can pay your kids, something I learned, how you can pay your kids up to $14,600 a year and redirect those funds into our super private specialized life insurance policy and build this private family banking that continues to compound for generations. I can't wait to get into this because, this is part of our lifestyle-focused wealth community, and I'm going to call you guys our cousins. Hey, cousins, what's happening? This is where money works harder, it lasts longer, and it stays in your family. And this is what I want to be able to talk about. I wish I would have known this a lot earlier than I learned it. And I hope that this is the information that can probably help you get to where you want to go. And those of you that know someone that have children, go ahead, take a quick second. First, I need you to pay the admission cost by hitting subscribe right below, like, share, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get all of our updated information and you can be in line and on tap and available for when we get ready to go online again. But let's jump right into it. You know how I do it. I like to talk about the 5 pain points, and we're going to give 5 solutions today that can help you dive a little bit deeper into that idea of how you can stop giving your kids money. So number 1, we're going to talk about high taxes on high-income families. Here's the number 1 pain point. The number 1 pain point to that is very simple. High-income parents lose 30 to 50% of their income due to taxes. And that's before they can even get to their children. If you're out there and you're one of those parents that feel like, man, I need a second, maybe even a third job, it's because you're losing 30 to 50% of it to taxes, income taxes. So we got a solution for that. We're going to be talking about these solutions a little bit later on. So if that is something that is important to you and you're paying high taxes and you're a high income family, you're going to want to stick around for today's conversation because, yes, I'm probably talking to you. Right? I'm probably talking to you. Number 2, we're going to talk about some inefficient giving and how you can do inefficient gift giving. Well, here's the pain point. Most parents gift money. They simply do, which creates no deductions. There's no structure to it. And there's no long-term wealth. We're going to give you a solution that can reverse that. we're going to give you an opportunity to reverse that and take advantage of this in a different way, right? Wouldn't you want to know that? And number three, we're going to have conversations about kids not learning financial skills. They're not teaching it in school, and a lot of families don't have the skills either. But when children grow up without understanding money, taxes, or wealth, where does that lead us? We're going to have that conversation because we need to start having these conversations because we need these money skills. Our children need these money skills. And based on AI today, being able to have a business where they just can start today and earn money tomorrow, they probably need to know more about money, taxes, and wealth than any other generation before us, right? And these are just conversations that I know that I could appreciate as a parent. And I want to make sure that some of you guys get this information that's pretty costly to get. But because you're part of our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community, you know you can come right here and we're willing to share. That's what we do. We want to be able to share it with you and make sure that you're getting information that you can go out here and use right away. If that's important to you, stick around. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that notification bell. It helps us so that we can continue to give you content that helps you build and grow your wealth and put you in a better situation. And that's really what our goal is. We're big financial literacy advocates here. So, and hopefully you decide to join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community. This is what millionaires and billionaires do. We're going to be talking about that. It's easy to join. It's $16 a month when you pay the annual subscription. So we want to have you inside, and then actually you get discounts to our coaching, our platforms, and all the other things that we're going to be doing coming up in the near future. So we want you to be a part of that, right? Well, let's get back to it. We just talked about the third pain point of the day. Okay, but our fourth one is missing the power of early insurance. Now, I know when we talk about insuring children, there's always the question, should I insure my kids? Should I talk about it so early? They got more time. The likelihood of something happening to them goes away, right? Should I take advantage of it while they're younger? We're going to talk about what most parents wait too late to insure their children, missing decades of compounding. So when we talk about it, we're talking about the money growing, folks. We're talking about the money growing on top of money, interest on top of interest, decades. So you're going to want to understand that concept, especially if you got young parents or maybe you got kids and now you got grandkids. It's important that we put these structures out there so they know. And number 5, there's no generational wealth structure today. A lot of families out here, they build wealth, but they fail to structure it. So it disappears by the second generation. If you're working your behind off to leave your kids money, don't you think it's important that we start teaching our kids how to handle what we're leaving them and why these structures are in place? This don't need to be the grown folks conversation anymore. This needs to be the conversation for the family. This needs to be as normal as talking about A's and B's in high school, and the kids come out of school ready to know and understand why these structures are there and what their responsibilities are as they move forward. And we're going to give you some handy tips of how you can get to that today. So, like I said at the very beginning, stop gifting your kids money. All right? Start employing them and building generational wealth instead. I know for me, when I heard this concept for the first time, I had to sit back and relax and think about my daughter, Amaya, and I know that I give her money all the time. It didn't matter what it was for, if it was basketball, cheerleading, or an event, or a trip, or whatever the case may be, even still today. You have to stop giving your kids money. Yeah, well, how do you stop giving a child money or a college student money? You start thinking about that and you say, well, what if your child could have a six-figure tax-free bank account by age 18? When you start thinking about that, does that make you stop and say, And if you knew the IRS allowed it and wealthy families use it, now you can too. When we talk about it, we're going to talk about how you can use these strategies. So pay your kids, reduce your taxes, build generational wealth, and one strategy does all three. These are the types of information that you get when you join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community and come and do our one-on-one or one-to-many workshops and our mastermind groups. These are the types of information that you get. And some people may think about, hey, what does that cost? What does that cost? The truth is, what is it costing that you don't know the answer to these solutions that I'm going to give you? You may find that you're already spending much more than the cost of admission. So our goal is to help you kind of restructure how that thing works in your head. And we're going to weave in how cash flow and net worth work into this conversation, how you reduce your taxes first. If you're making more than the normal or you got a high income, we want to reduce those taxes. Like we said, 30 to 50% of it is going off into the world, right? And how you can use corporations as wealth structures or wealth containers, okay? That container just means that we don't want to leak in any more money. We want to contain it. We don't want money leaking out of our families. And while we're building, we want to build a private banking system that supports those containers of wealth, right? We make wealth very simple here. And I have to be honest with you. It's so simple, it's laughable. And you would think, well, why hasn't anyone said this to us already? It's simple, it's elegant, and it's stress-free. When you start putting your money away, after about 2 to 3, 4 months, you start to see it, and you start saying, why wasn't I doing this at the beginning? So, you guys, if you're looking for a loophole, this is not it. This is not a loophole. This is what we call IRS defendable design, structured wealth, and multiple generational planning. When you plan it, it's intentional. And what we want to do is get to a point where we're doing more intentional planning. Okay? Y'all with me on that? If you're with me on that, give me some love in the comments. Don't forget to say thank you for my folks that are already in there. And we want to be able to have this conversation. And if I'm already resonating with you, give me a thumbs up. Let me know really quickly how things are going on your end. So I was just blown away by the concept. You know, I've been in this business, as I mentioned to you guys probably before. I've been a financial expert for over 28 years. One of the top less than 1% of insurance and financial professionals in 75 countries. And it's always a unique conversation when we get to sit down as people, right? Never mind the accolades, just people. We start talking to families, people with children. We all have these things in common, whether you're a business owner or maybe you're just a parent of a child, right? Or you're just married. There's so many different areas that we communicate on, or we can see each other. It doesn't matter what class, it doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter your race. We see each other. Things are very similar. Well, the one thing all of us have very similar is our income is going towards taxes. Would you agree with that? If you agree with that, then I think we're on the same chord, right? So our goal today is just to sit down and let's talk about some of these things and how we can restructure our lifestyles. And why is it that wealthy folks do this? How are they able to do this? And why are we doing it? So I want to make sure that the folks out here today have an opportunity to start talking about it and restructuring it, right? So let's dive right into it. First, I want to just make sure that we get all the the fun out of the way, do me a favor. Make sure you tell someone. Make sure you tell someone that you're hanging out with RJ and let us know. I want to know in the comments. Send me a DM, or you can go to roncojohnson.com or outlifestylefocusedwealth.com and just let us know. I want to know how this is ringing true to you and how helpful it is and if it's valuable to you. All right? So at the end of the day, we want to talk about structure, paying our kids. Man, I know the holiday season just came around, but if we're paying our children and we got a high tax on income for our family income tax, especially if you're a six-figure person, six-figure earner in your income, and you realize that every year you're losing between $30,000 to $50,000 of income tax before you can even help your children, wouldn't you want to reallocate that 30 to 50% to being able to help your children first and then pay your taxes? If that's you, give me a thumbs up down low. So here's a solution that I'm going to give you. The solution is shift your income to your children. Did you know you could do that legitimately? You could do that through legitimate corporate work. You could give up to $14,600 per child per year. And that becomes tax-free. How? It reduces your taxable income when you're funding their future. So when little Johnny goes out and does the yard work, you're probably going to give him baseball money anyway. Why don't you create little Johnny a Johnny LLC underneath the family company, and you pay Johnny the $14 or the $30 to cut the grass. Now with the gas prices so high, you might have to pay him $50. So that he understands that, hey, with inflation and all the other things, the price goes up too. But you could pay little Johnny $14,600, and that becomes tax-free income because up to that point, your child doesn't have to pay taxes if they're a minor. Wow. So if you got 2 kids, that's $28,000 or more just because you're paying them first. Because you're paying them as a company. What do you think about that? First of all, that may help to lower your income. That takes your $100,000 down $28,000, which moves you to a lower tax bracket, and that's the goal. You want to look at your marginal tax bracket. For those of you that don't know, I would challenge you to go on to your Chat GPTs or your Googles and Google in what marginal tax brackets are. There's wonderful information by the Tax Foundation out there that tells you and shows you the scale of where the tax rates start and where they end. And most of us know we pay taxes, we just don't know how much. And then once we start to know how much, we start to reorganize our strategy to pay less and less. And that's where these strategies come in that can help you. Hopefully I'm making sense. Does that make sense to you? Am I talking too fast? Hopefully this is making sense to everybody that is paying attention. Thank you so much, Donna. I see you out there today. Hey, Sam, what's going on, buddy? Look at here. Hey, Demetria, I see you. I see you. Thank you guys for stepping in and joining in today. But if this is making sense to you, if you got 4 or 5 kids and you can give $14,600 per kid, imagine what that does to your tax bracket. It still stays in the family. It's just that you don't have to pay taxes on that money. The kids don't have to pay taxes on that money. But you keeping it for yourself, you do, right? You keeping it for yourself, you do. That might not be the best solution. You might as well take advantage of it and use that as a rule for yourself. Get it? Hopefully y'all are getting that. I'm giving you time to get those down because today we're going to go pretty quickly. The number 2 reason we talked about the inefficient gift giving, where most families are giving money and they don't have no deductions, they don't have no structure, they don't have any long-term wealth strategy behind doing it. First, the solution would be to convert those gifts into structured payroll. See, your corporation, it gets a deduction. If you have a corporation out there, you create one, and it gets a deduction, right? And your child gets tax-free income, and the money that you were going to give as a gift is redirected into these wealth-building vehicles. And we're going to talk about my favorite wealth-building vehicle in just a moment. But we're going to talk about that and how you've taken your income now, you put it structured through a payroll, and then how it can continue to benefit your family. And if you're able to do that effectively over and over again, how much money have you really saved over a lifetime? When you really think about it, it becomes a situation where you want to make sure that you're doing it over and over again. So, number 3, when we talked about kids not learning financial skills, well, isn't it up to us to make sure that they learn it? It's not up to a teacher. It's up to you. And you must play it safe, because think about it. The more and more you start to learn, the more and more you should share. Because if children grow up without the understanding of money, taxes, and wealth, how do you expect them to get the information? So here's the solution. Hire them teachers. And when you think about it, by hiring them to work the corporation that you created, it teaches your kids a few things. It teaches work ethic. It teaches taxes. It teaches banking. It teaches investing. It teaches responsibility, all in one situation. And this is how wealthy families are able to build financially competent heirs. Because once again, we don't want to leave money to people who are incompetent of handling the money. But if you've had, since you're 5 years old, the opportunity to work in your makeshift business, maybe you were selling lemonade on a lemonade stand, create a business out of it. If you're raking leaves, create a business out of it. Anything that you do chores with, create a business out of it. There's no reason why that they don't have a business of their own. And then you start to think about it, and you start to talk about it. Now I got the work ethic. I'm working hard for you. I can work hard for me. The taxes that I got to pay, the banking strategies that I need to use, having access to my money, how to compound my investments, and I'm taking personal responsibility for everything I'm doing. You're building a life for the entrepreneur in the family to begin, right? If this is making sense to you, give me a thumbs up. If you got questions, go ahead and put it in the comments. Don't forget to put the words takeaways. Always put the words takeaways. If it's something that you don't that has resonated with you, I want to know. That way I can look at your comments and hopefully get it on the podcast today, right? But let's move on. Let's move on to number 3. Because if the kids don't have financial skills, then we're still talking about missing the power. And missing the power of early insurance. Because when I have this conversation with families, most families, this is taboo, right? It's like, hey, well, I think I can wait. My kids are babies, or they're in baseball. Johnny's in baseball. My daughter Annie is in so-and-so in dance and cheerleading and what have you. But when you look up, one day they're 18, the next day they're 28, and you have lost decades of compounding. Decades of compounding. But here's the solution to that. For those of you that have the opportunity, you can design it. A properly designed, dividend-paying, non-direct recognition whole life policy with a waiver of premium. It does a few different things. And I know I might have just talked over your head just for a second. But that's the Swiss Army knife of financial services. It can be used in so many different ways. One of my favorite tools was we're starting at the foundation of beginning to save is it guarantees insurability, number 1. Most of our young people haven't had an opportunity to go out here and screw up life. There's no DUIs, There's no drug charges. There's no medical challenges usually. Okay, so you're guaranteeing the insurability at that point, especially if they're just under 18. You have an opportunity to maximize the cash value, meaning when we start talking about the family banking system and how you overfund these plans, it's important to know that in the early years, when you're maximizing early cash value, I'm not worried about where it is today. I'm looking at it decades down the road. And this child has time. The most valuable asset in the world is time. And if they have more time for the compounding to work in their favor, a 70, 80 years of compounding runway, if you will, they can't do anything but take off. And the future tax-free bank that is building is in their control, no one else's. So this is a foundational piece when we get to the point where we're talking about private financial banking systems or private family banking systems. If you want more details and you think you could benefit from having a private family bank, contact us below at roncojohnson.com and schedule your one-on-one, and we can have a private session about that and how you can get one built for you and your family. And I tell you now, all the families that are in our Lifestyle Focused Wealth community, they're taking advantage of what millionaires and billionaires have been doing for a very long time. When you control your money, you don't have to wait on someone else to offer you anything. And once you start to come together as a community, guess what? It becomes even more powerful. More powerful. It's a bigger situation. We're just asking you to go ahead and join the movement because the movement does exist. You're just probably on the outside looking in. It does exist, right? So the fifth one today, no generational wealth structure. Well, how do we get around that? Like I said, most families make money, but they don't put the structure in place. And in this case, we want to make sure that the second generation doesn't lose the money that you're creating, right? So here's the solution. Use your corporation to fund these policies, fund trust, and create the family banking system that protects your assets, number one. I really have just driven this home. It's going to do a few things. Along with protecting your asset, it reduces your taxes. It creates liquidity, and it's going to pass wealth tax-free to your heirs upon someone passing. And that's what's going to help you build generational wealth. That's the blueprint. We're giving you the blueprint. And this is what we call our Lifestyle Focused Wealth in action. Right? So those members who have joined our Lifestyle Focused Wealth communities, guess what they're doing? They're focusing their wealth, and it's in action. There's nothing more you can say to that. Sitting on the bank, thinking about it, waiting for the boat to come, it's not the same as driving the boat and moving forward. You got to take action. Start today. Start thinking about protecting the assets, reducing your tax liability, creating some liquid money you can get your hands on for any reason. And if I pass away tomorrow, it's going to go to my it's going to be tax-free to my trust or to my loved ones or however I want to have it designated. And then it would be smart to start teaching family members this blueprint very early. That's all we're saying. Did that make sense to everybody today? If you have questions or comments, please go ahead and make those happen. And because today's comments and information is so straightforward, it sounds so simple that I think that you should be able to go ahead and jump on board and start giving these opportunities to your family members right now, especially while they're young, because young people are impressionable. But if we start thinking of it like instead of teaching them to work for somebody, we start talking about the advantages of owning your own and working for yourself and creating your own family banking system, we don't have to work for somebody to make it happen. And by you as parents planning early enough, you'll be able to be the family investor in their future dreams as well. If that's making sense to you, if it's resonating to you, please, please, please put it in the comments. Give us a thumbs up, say something. And, I want to hear from you. I want the internet blowing up. We need to reach 10,000 followers. That's what we really want to do. We need to reach 10,000 followers because the information that we're giving impacts you right away. Think about it. You have 4 kids or 5 kids. How much money are you saving? Just by today. I need to make sure that you understand that. $14,600 per child per year. You got to think. If little Johnny's 8 years old, and you did that for the time he's 8 years old to 18 years old, that's 10 years. And it goes by that fast. It goes by that fast. I'm telling you, it's gone by that fast for me as I watch my daughter grow. And, the funny thing is, you don't know what you don't know until they prove it. Now she's in her 20s and late 20s, and she's very responsible with her money. And she does surprise me from time to time and let me know that, Dad, I was listening. She just didn't want me to know it. But it's all good. So if you guys, if you resonate with that, then let me know. Okay? So, hey, we got a takeaway here. It says creating a business young provides financial teaching that can help you. Yeah, I think so. For families and parents, thank you, Donna, for that. I really appreciate that out there in Wisconsin. I think when we start really, really focusing on how our kids today are more informed than what we were as kids, they probably in many ways are much smarter, much faster than we are and we were. So they can handle this information because somewhere on there, they're probably finding it. And they can create a business sitting in their yard just going and doing YouTube videos all day long and having followers and start receiving money from selling digital products or using AI tools. Guess what? Doesn't it make sense to go ahead and put this into play? It benefits you. It's helping them. And guess who they're learning it from? Their superhero, mom and dad. And that's really, I don't know, if you're a parent and one day your kid calls you their superhero, how valuable is that? For me, I think that will be, those are the terms that make you tear up and you know you're doing the right thing, right? Those are the things that make you go and really think about your value, that someone else is paying attention when you wasn't looking. And you could do this unintentionally and they're still learning. Hey, Sandy, what's happening? Thank you for checking in. I really appreciate it. Hey, Sam, I really appreciate that. Hopefully that we really are just narrowing in on how these conversations about wealth can be restructured. Really. Because the world needs it now. Ladies and gentlemen, I was at the gas station this week. Let me just give you a quick story. I was at the gas station this week, and I had a rent-a-car. And I noticed that the rent-a-car, shout out to Toyota RAV4s. I'm just going to be honest with you. Drove the car a whole week and didn't put gas in the car. From Georgia to Tennessee, from Georgia to Alabama, I probably put the gas in the car one time. Once. Now, I drove my family car, my normal family car. From my house to the stop sign, I had to fill up twice. $81 per fill up. What I'm saying to you is money becomes a conversation right up front. And as I'm talking to you parents listening to what I'm saying right now, your child probably just asked you for Dunkin' Donut money. Your child just asked you for gas money. Your child is asking you for hangout money with their friends. Why don't you create a company so they can earn it? And it will help you minimize your taxes at the same time. See, currently, you're giving it to them, but you're giving it to them after you pay taxes on the money. So if you really think about it, why don't you take your $100,000, bring it down $14,000 more dollars, shift that over to your kid, fund it through some insurance, and teach them how to borrow against it while the money will always be compounding for the rest of their lives. And they'll be due a dividend. How does that sound? Did I give you the secret? I think I did. How valuable is it? For those who act and stop sitting on the side, it becomes a super, super valuable wealth tool and a strategy that just keeps on giving. Any more questions out there today? Do we have anybody else that's listening that wants to make a comment on what we're talking about? Because I want to just make sure that we're including our whole family, right? We want to make sure that we talk about why paying your kids with tax-free builds generational wealth, just like the wealthy do. Because if you do this, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's not if it works, it's going to work. This is my number one recommendation. How the wealthy pay their kids tax-free. Just ask yourself that question. How do they do it, and how do they build generational wealth? We have the answer. We have the tools here. We've had the answer to it. And we have the core benefits of insuring children early, because our lifestyle focused wealth community and what we talk about sets the tone. We keep it very simple. Hopefully it's elegant enough for you to understand, but it's built on generational impact. That's where we get it from, right? Because each thing that we talk about and each benefit that we talk about, it begins with understanding that, hey, here's a guided link so that you can expand your thought and then start to grow it, okay? Really, because when we're talking about benefiting the benefits of insuring children early, what are we talking about? Insuring children early isn't just about protection. It's more about time. It's more about leverage and generational design. So you're going to hear me talk about that all the time, right? You'll hear me talk about that all the time, because if I got more time on my hands, guess what? There's money that I don't need. There's time that I have to grow. And we also understand these are the most beneficial times in the world when they don't need access to the capital. It actually gets to sit there and hang out for a minute. Okay? So we want to do a few things. We want to make sure we guarantee their insurability, because children qualify at the healthiest and the cheapest point of their lives. So we're going to lock in that lifetime coverage. We're going to protect them against health issues. We're going to give them access to riders that guarantee additional types of coverage in the future. These things can be talked about with your planner, with your advisor, and how families can insure children. It can allow you to participate in the family banking process and start to build their Head Start program right away. The number two thing is, I like thinking about and talking to families about maximizing compounded time. Because when these policies are open at birth or early into childhood, if you think about it, if it had 70 or 80 years to grow, I'm talking about the dividends are more. The cash value is more. The borrowing power is more. And also there's more tax-free accumulation just because you started earlier. And the most valuable thing that we have in this wealth building process is time. I really hope I'm getting it into you today. So one of the advantages that I like to talk to you about is when we start talking about lower premiums for life. Listen, I've heard the term, buy stuff cheaply, you end up spending more over time. right? In this case, you can lower premiums for life just by simply having quality financial planning and structured management happen at the very beginning. Premiums are based on your age, and they also are based on your health. Children get the advantage of having low cost insurance and their highest efficiency of paid up additions, which means the dollars that you're putting into the policy continue to grow. They just continue to grow. Every time you overfund it, it grows. The death benefit grows and the cash value grows at the same time. So this is the best long-term internal rate of return that's out there, especially when we're talking about safe money, because it makes early policies the most cost-effective in the entire life of a person. And when we're looking at a family structure, I think it's important to get on early rather than to get on later. Does that make sense? Hopefully, you guys are catching this. Give me a thumbs up if you are. Number 4 reason is early access to tax-free banking. Because by the time your child becomes a young adult, by the time they get to the 18, 19, 20, the policies they can already use have developed. You can use the money in the policies for college. Maybe it's the first car. Maybe if it's a business startup plan. You can use that. That first $1,000 that you helped them grow, that's what we're going to start the business with. And that's a business expense as well. And it can also, in the later years, be down for their first down payment in a house. Another smart money move. So although tax-free loans continue to grow uninterrupted, it keeps compounding. So you're learning a valuable lesson that you have access to money without taking the growth away from it. It's always going to continue to grow. I think these are some of the advantages that I get really, really excited about. And I just want to make sure we're sharing it with our cousins out here, our family, our lifestyle focused wealth family, because we make it look so easy. If you've been doing it over time, it looks easier and easier to do. And when you join our Lifestyle Focused Wealth workshop, and we're talking about the mental mindset and how to shift that around, we're talking about a built-in financial education system. A child with a policy learns these things. They learn how much more money grows. They learn how loans work. Not just the loan of the policy, but all loans. They learn this. They also learn how to manage their capital. Because I tell you now, my daughter, I could give her $10. She will not spend her $10. She knows to say, hey, Dad, I need you to buy that for me. And I always get a kick out of it because she will not spend her money, but she'll spend yours, not hers. But, we love her for that. And at the end of the day, what she doesn't know is, Dad's put some of these plans in to make sure that, hey, I'm not trying to spend my money either. I just want to make sure that we are doing things in the right way, and we all benefit from it. And we start thinking earlier, just like a banker. And I think this is how wealthy people create financial competent heirs, when everybody in the family is thinking like a bank. Does that make sense to you? If this is resonating to you, then, please, please, please go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit a like, a share, and let me know. The number 6 reason, the foundation of the family bank. Early policies become the core asset. Okay? That's just it. It's the core asset of the family banking system that we put into place. And not every insurance policy is the same. They're not. But you want the ones that provide liquidity. You want them to provide stability. You want tax-free access to your money, because the multiplier for generational wealth is continuity in time. Because this is the backbone of what we call our financial wealth and our lifestyle-focused wealth structure, our philosophy. When you know that it's stable, when you know that it is designed for legacy, protection, and prominence, you can believe in it. This is permanent stuff that we're talking about, folks. It's not fly by night. Your child's policy can become the future death benefit for their heirs. It can become the tax-free transfer of wealth that comes from them to the kids' kids. This permanent asset that cannot be lost, stolen, or damaged by market crashes, it becomes the most stable generational wealth tool available. If I've said something that you didn't know, that you've never heard before, I want you to take this away. And you can call this one of Ronco's takeaways. Insuring children early is not about life insurance. It's really just about time. It's about leverage. It's about generational architecture. And when you do this, it's the most simple, it's the easiest, most elegant way to give a child a financial head start that compounds for the rest of their lives. Well, you stop and think about that. Don't waste time having to undo something that we could have done the right way a long time ago. I think we've had that conversation. Just control. Start taking advantage of these younger years in your children and your grandchildren. You're giving them a head start that matters. You're giving them tools that are transferable. And you're giving education almost without the books. And guess what? It can be very fun and rewarding at the same time. So you got to stop and think about it. Why do millionaires and billionaires do this? How do you pay your kids and reduce your taxes and build generational wealth? It's by helping them understand what business is, help them construct it, and then start paying through it to minimize your personal taxes as a parent. Has this been helpful to you today? And if it has been, I'm hopeful that you just continue to come back and see us every Monday or every Friday. Look at there. I almost don't know what day of the week it is. Every Friday, we talk about it here on Lifestyle Focus Wealth. And I want to just thank you for jumping through it and joining us and having the conversation with us. But we do this every Friday at 1 o'clock. Every Friday, right here. And if you want a one-on-one session, it's easy to find me. I'm Ronco Johnson, your Lifestyle Focus Wealth Coach. Just go to our website and you can schedule a one-on-one and we can start talking about designing your lifestyle focused wealth right away and start talking about and strategizing how this plan, this opportunity, you can start to put into play right now for your family and your kids so they can take advantage of building this wealth while it's still the fun years, right? It's not really hard to do when you think about it, okay? So I want to thank you guys for listening. That's almost my time today. And it looks like I got a takeaway that I want to read out before we get there. Financial knowledge for you and your family is crucial in today's society. Donna, thank you so much for saying that. You're absolutely right. Donna Henderson, agent out of Wisconsin. She's on it today. And I'm being honest with you. If this is information that you can take away and share with a family member, a business owner, or a family friend, or just talking about it at the water fountain, it's our duty. It's our duty. And remember the rules of reciprocity. You must desire other people to do well for you to continue to do well. Hey, so that's my time. And I just want to say thank you guys once again. I will see you next Friday right here, same time, same place, different topic. And I hope that this has been really, really helpful to you. And then I look forward to seeing you next time at the top. Until then, I'm Ronco Johnson. I'll see you later. God bless. Have a great weekend. See you soon.